Hi, my name is Tanya Sheridan. I'm an independent consultant with Close to My Heart, and today I would like to show you and introduce to you our new layered floral background thin cuts. So these are an array of 5 cards that I've created with one simple set. You can see they're each a little bit different in color and design, and that is the flexibility that you have with this new thin cut set. So this is the set that I'm introducing, and again, it's called Layer Floral Background. It comes in a little bag, which is awesome, an awesome way to store it after the fact. And you'll receive 3 dies. Now each die is the standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it will fit on the front of a classic A2 card, which is absolutely awesome. They are intricately designed. They are very fine finished, which makes them very easy to cut through. So there's 3 layers. This is going to be your bottom layer. This is going to be your middle layer, and then this is going to be your top and your more intricate and delicate layer. So I wanted to show you a little bit of variation, and then I'm going to put one together for you so that you can see how easily it comes together. It is truly one of the easiest and most elegant cards that you are ever going to create. So I have an array. I mix the colors up. We try them different variations. This one here is going to be our brand new color of the year, Bluebell, and it is the light side of the Bluebell. So it is the back side, and each piece, each layer was cut out of that Bluebell paper. So if you're not familiar with Close to My Heart's cardstock, we do have a very high quality cardstock, and it is double-sided. So there is the top side, which is the true color, and then the bottom side is a lighter variation of that color, which just opens up your color possibilities. So this second card, I have white on the top layer, the light Bluebell on the middle layer, the dark Bluebell or the regular Bluebell as the bottom, and then the dark Bluebell as the base. For this one was inspired by one of our Aussie or New Zealand consultants, and I apologize, I can't remember her name, but this one was all done in white, and I thought that that was so incredibly elegant. So every layer is done on the white. This one has the dark Bluebell on the top, then the white, then the light Bluebell, and then the dark Bluebell as the base. And then this final one has the light Bluebell on the top, dark Bluebell for the middle, white, and then dark Bluebell for the base. So you can see this was just 2 sheets of cardstock that I made all of these different variations with, and you can play with them. They are absolutely so addicting. My son and I played with them for hours and came up with all sorts of creative possibilities and arrangements. So I want to show you how easy that these come together. The first thing that I do want to point out, these are the 4 layers that you're going to need. Of course, this bottom one, as I said, it's a standard card. So you can actually use your card front if you want white or whatever color your card front is as the base. But in this particular situation or array of colors, I wanted a solid. So I just cut that one with my straight trimmer to the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But the one thing with most thin cuts that we have, and I'll put this over this piece so you can see it better, is that if you can cut it out and then you can flip it over, and typically your thin cut works either way unless it's a stamp or shape that you're stamping in. But for this particular one, you can see a big difference in the cutting. So this on the back is very rugged, it is very rough, where on the front it's very finished and very polished. So you will want to decide your color combinations and whether you want a light or a dark side of a paper before you cut them, because certainly this is a much rougher look unless you're going for a rugged look, and this is a more fine, like I said, polished look. So I start from the bottom. I think that that is the easiest way to do it. I have been using the Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. I like this one because it has a pen tip and a broad tip, and I'll be showing you how I use that throughout the cards. But you could also use a regular tape adhesive runner, whatever you normally use. You do want a strong hold. I'm not typically a glue person. I'm very much of a dry adhesive person, but for these cards, it made it so easy. They didn't feel like they were warped at all with the wetness of the glue, and so I was very happy with it. But with this, I'm going to use the fine tip, and I'm just going to put a little dot in each of the 4 corners because I want to make sure that those corners stick down. And then the magic of this one is it has this brush tip on it. So I'm just going to kind of brush some of the adhesive, try to get the edges around. And it's much easier on the bigger one because the design is much more spaced out. So then I'm gonna flip it over and I'm just gonna attach it directly to that solid and make sure that my pieces line up. And I've been just running my hand over it to make sure that everything sticks and is good to go. So that would be, excuse me, the first layer. Then the second layer, I'm gonna do the same. So I'm gonna kind of bring my brush where it will allow me. I don't wanna cross over because I really don't want anything to leak out. Some glues are glossy, some kind of splot. This one usually dries pretty clear, but I just don't want to risk it. And then I'm going to use that little fine tip again for all of the corners because I don't want my corners to pop up on my card. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this one that I did with the first one. I'm going to just line it up and make sure all of my edges are aligned. It's more important on this card than most cards that they align because you want the pattern to come through in the right places. So this alone would be a very pretty card. You could certainly add a stamped image to it, anything like that, but standing by itself, it would be a very pretty card. But the top layer is where the delicate and the beauty really lies. So on this one, there's not enough space to really use that broad tip without making a big mess. So I am just going to lightly come and put dots along the edges, especially the border, because I want to make sure that that stays down. And then I'm just going to come and randomly go around some of the design. I've done about 20 of these, and I haven't had any pop up. Where it does get a little bit tricky, and I don't have a sample to show you here, but you can see some on my blog, which is found at nallsassiness.com, is if you're using the glitter paper, because it's harder to attach to glitter paper. But the results are still absolutely breathtaking. Okay, so we're gonna attach this one. Again, I'm gonna line it up, make sure from the edges that everything lines up perfectly. If you're finding that it's not going down all the way, then you might need to come back and add a little bit more glue in certain places. But usually once that glue seals, you are good. Looks like I did not get enough glue, so we're gonna put just a little bit more. Again, I don't want it to seep out, and there's not much space where you can actually add your glue. We're going to line it up again and press down. The other thing I also did was I flipped it over, and you can see a little bit of that wetness on the back. That's going on a card front, so it's not going to seep through. And we're going to flip it down. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to catch that corner again, is I'm going to stamp my image. So I used 3 stamp sets that I really like. I'm going to set this to the side. And those stamp sets are the paw prints on your heart, which is D1975. I used the Deepest Sympathies. This is our pet sympathy stamp, but I love the way that this sentiment is written, and so I wanted to use that one over and over again. The next one is going to be the Treasured Memories, D1933. This one has a lot of really nice sentiments on it and some splotches and some flowers and such as well. And then the last one is D1919 with Heartfelt Sympathy. And this one I really like because it has Thinking of You with Sympathy and Deepest Condolences. But then it has these really nice pieces that could be used on the inside of a card, or of course you could use them on the front of the card. But I really like those 3. Okay, so I'm actually doing some little camera magic and pulling one that has already had time to dry. And I'm going to open my Bluebell ink, which again is our color of the year. Our Versa Matte is the matte that I'm using, and that has a sponge side on the other side, which is great for inking. But for this purpose, I'm just going to pull out the little mat. This comes in all of the stamp sets, and so it's just a nice little cushion if you're doing something quick and small. I'm going to ink up my stamp that I've already put on the block and just stamp down. Now I'm using tone on tone So this is, again, the Bluebell ink, and it's on the light side of the Bluebell cardstock. So then I'm going to put my sentiment directly on my card. So I'm going to put 2 pieces of foam tape on the back. Oops. I'm going to make sure that is centered. Just like that. And then I'm going to put the sentiment wherever I think works the best. So here was the original. I really liked it down here, and I wanted this circle to show. So I'm going to pull the backing off of the foam tape. And you don't have to use a foam tape. You could do it flat, but I felt like the foam tape just made the sentiment pop a little bit. I did play with much bigger sentiments, but I felt like it took away from the card too much, and so I opted not to do that. And then I added our Bluebell pearls. So these are our pearls. They're item number Z7000. Because this is the color of the year, these will be available for an entire year. And you'll see that there are 3 sizes. Mine kind of got mixed up. There's a sheet that's full. So there's a small size, a medium size, and a wide size, or a high size. So I typically like to use the big size on cards or on projects. I don't very often use them on my scrapbooking layouts because they are so thick and so tall. So I tend to use those. But for this card, we're going to use the little ones, and we are just going to slide those into the center of a few of the corner ones. You could do them all the way across if you wanted to, or however you want to, but I was just playing with this possibility, and I liked the way that this looked. Each card, I did them a little bit different. First, I wanted to stay within a pack of the pearls. I didn't want to open multiple packs, but then also I really like playing with the variety. So in the center one, I'm going to use a medium pearl. And then it's just a very nice balance. So that is how you create this card. Super easy, right? The hardest part, it's not even hard, the most time consuming is just getting all these little dots out when you run it through your machine. So if you like these cards, I do have a special for you through September 15th. If you purchase the Thin Cut set, either on my shop, nlsassiness.com, or my Close to My Heart website, which you can access through my shop, you will get this set of 5 cards with a package of the Bluebell pearls for free. Or you can just directly buy this set at nlsassiness.com for $15. That includes a set of the pearls. So that is how that is set up. All of the stamps, I will itemize those in this video. If you liked those stamps, those are available to purchase as well. And then before I leave, I wanted to show you another style that I did. And this one is also available in my shop. And this one is using brown tones. So this one is using our espresso, both sides, the light and the dark, and our almond, both sides, light and the dark. And then it's also using a new product to Close to My Heart. It's by Ranger. It's called Liquid Pearls. And so for this one, instead of using embellishments that were already made, I made my own, and I just put a little dot of this liquid pearl inside some of the random circles just to give it a little bit more flair. So that is also available on my shop. I hope that this encourages you to play with these dies. They are so much fun to play with. I guarantee you're going to love it. And have a great day. Whatever you do, make sure you make it sassy. Thank you.